Okay, so today we're going to talk about content.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into content marketing. We're going to talk specifically around copy. Words to page, how it's changed, AI, everything together, that as a whole. So yeah, look,
How's it
has
changed? How's it changed?
I'll take it away. So it's interesting. Look, AI has impacted content quite heavily. Say quite heavily. It's really impacted content. So Google has naturally put in algorithms to filter out where we're at. The fluff. As I put it the other day, it's the shit on the internet. That's kind of where we're at. Like, AI has come along and it's created a way of which it's very easy to be able to batch large volumes of content really, really quickly to a website. So, go back a couple of years, used to write, copyright, put things to a page, whereas now you can, quickly ask GPT, hey, write me a 1,000-word blog on XYZ.
Yep.
The problem with it, AI is built off of our existing data. So how that works is that Google looks at, or ChatGPT or Gemini, whichever platform it may be, looks at the existing data that is there, that is easy for it to access.
Yeah.
So look at the top 10 ranking and pull data or insight within those top 10 rankings. And then based on that, it's going to create you your response. So you say, I want an article on, recently we did one on SEO versus SEM.
Yeah.
And you prompt it, write me an article on SEO versus SEM. What it's going to do is it's going to grab all of the data it's got and put something together based on
the existing content.
Content that's available.
Yeah.
What that does create, though, is a lack of uniqueness, because you're essentially, if everyone's prompting that same response and everyone prompts 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 people do that same thing, all of a sudden you've got 100,000 articles that are all spun up around that same topic and subject matter.
Yeah.
Written to the same depth.
Yeah. There's nothing new.
Eris did a post on this week, last week. It's a recent thing.
Yeah.
And they talk about the depth of content and the stages. So there's like a research, experience, expertise, data.
Yeah.
I think is the 4 pillars to it. So the deeper that you can go from research to experience to your expertise to your data, the more depth the content has.
Yeah.
On a surface level, you look at it and they've got it in, I think it's in a format of like an iceberg underneath, twice the size underneath and half the size above.
Yeah.
That concept, similar idea. So that's where we need to start looking and how we need to start looking at content. Google doesn't want
the same
shit all over the search, because it can do it itself.
Yeah.
Like it can write content like that. It doesn't need us to go and prompt it to write content and us just to regurgitate that all over Google. We need to be looking at it as, how can we be the experts in the space and write content to a level that AI can't?
Yeah. And provide more value for users as well.
Which ultimately does provide more value. So that starts then talking about frameworks.
Yeah.
And AI and the frameworks of AI. How do you write content like this? So you've got to get away from what we're seeing and we're testing, and we've seen some pretty incredible results very quickly with this method. You've got to handwrite the content, right? Not pen and paper handwrite, and you know what I mean. You've got to not go to AI and get the blog and then rewrite the content.
Yeah.
You have to start fresh, total scratch.
Use your expertise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Use your expertise and bring your tone and personality through the piece that you're writing.
Yeah.
Because that is what creates uniqueness. That's what creates it. Well, one, it brings your expertise into it.
Yeah.
It brings data into it. If you've got access to that, it's valuable, because Google hasn't got that data yet.
Yeah.
So you can bring it forward.
And it's hard to replicate.
Well, you can't replicate it. That's the point.
Yeah.
You can't replicate insight because it's your insight.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about it. And that's where this depth comes in. So there was a really good article that I read as well. It was on Level Up which spoke about the words and the buzzwords that AI generates. So I think this is kind of a key thing on this AI tool and when you're writing content. I don't think we realize, I'd hope that other people realize, but most people don't realize how easy it is to spot AI. That's a big part of it. So there's a couple of like buzzwords and
it spits out a lot.
It does. Yeah. It does. It makes you sound smart.
It does.
It's great. But it's there's particular buzzwords it used. So there was a research paper that they did where they looked at certain terms that were being used pre-2022, post-2022, so 2023 and today's date. And one of the words it used, I think, was delve.
Meticulous.
Meticulous is another one. There's like 100 or something. If I can get the article, I'll grab the article and I'll put it in the show links and so on so you can read it. And the use case of these words, like threefolded within a year.
Yeah.
So these words have been used on the internet for, ever since, Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, whatever we're up to now. And it's like threefolded within less than a year.
Yeah.
Google can see it.
Yeah. It's easy
We
to
can
pick.
see it.
Yeah.
Like when we get emails that come through and people use AI to write their emails,
Yeah.
you
can.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at the camera. Like, I can see that in your email. So it's not that it shouldn't change anything. It doesn't change how, how you interact with somebody because they're using AI as a tool. We're busy. We're all busy.
But from an SEO perspective.
But when you're starting to try and give value to people, which content is about value.
Yeah.
AI is not it.
No, don't use it.
AI is not going to do it.
No.
So there's a couple of other things that, we talk about. One is relevancy, which is very much what we're talking about here. Of like, if you have expertise, if you have experience, if you've got data, it becomes relevant.
Yeah.
So that's key ranking metric for Google. And the other one is this term recency. Now, recency's, I'd like to say, a new term that's come into content space.
It's about keeping content fresh, up to date.
It is. So, you write an article, best digital marketing techniques for a small business in 2023. It's not relevant in 2024. So you need to update how recent the content is. So you rewrite it for a 2024 audience. That's the idea.
Yeah.
So it improves its recency. Google wants to see that. Yeah. It wants to see data that's new, fresh, up to date. It doesn't want to be putting forward
stale content.
And that's what happens.
Yeah.
Content becomes stale.
Yeah.
So don't feel that you're going to create a piece of content that goes out now and you never have to touch it again. Content should be evolving. It should be pillars that people can lean upon that are evergreen. I'll give you an example. You're an accountant. Financials change.
Yeah.
The way in which that, whether it's cash rate, it changes.
Yeah.
We talk about it. You should talk about it in your industry. We could talk real estate. Whether you're investing and there's incentives or grants, home buyer grants.
Yeah.
These are all
changing,
ever-changing data that you've got insight into that Google will get to, but you'll get it earlier.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially if you're a thought leader or a leader within your industry.
Yeah.
And that's your angle that you can take. Being ahead of Google and being ahead of the competition, you can quite quickly put yourself in a really strong position.
Yeah.
So again, I love examples. I'll use an example, case study for us. We wrote an article recently. Same idea. Get the best content that we can and go deeper. More data, more insight, more expertise. And we ranked within hours.
Yeah.
First page, in the mix, Ahrefs, SEMrush, Shopify, us.
Yeah.
Because the expert level of content, which takes time, but isn't AI.
Yeah. Human written.
Zilch, zero AI used.
Yeah.
All handwritten. And that is what is creating this new engaging content, and why they still lean on that content is king.
Yeah.
Like, that's the point of it.
Or queen.
Or queen. That's the point of it. That's where that tone comes from, not content is king or queen because we can just use lots of AI and get 7,000 words and put a bunch of fluff to Google.
Yeah.
We need to move away from doing that. It's not getting the result.
Yeah. 100%.
I think we'll wrap it up on that.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Thanks again.